Dota and League of Legends are considered one of the best MOBAs on the market, and I've played both of them. And before you guys say anything, yes, I do touch grass from time to time. In today's video, we are going to talk about Dota 2 and League of Legends, discussing what makes them different and unique in their own way. And who's better suited to talk about this than someone who has played both of these games for thousands of hours? As I said, I do touch grass. Sometimes. Starting off with League of Legends, all champions are divided into 6 major categories: mages, assassins, bruisers, tanks, marksmen, and supports. Let's talk about mages first. The best way to explain mages to someone new to the game is that they are the long-range artillery. They have the highest spell damage in the game, dealing massive amount of damage from a safe distance. Any COD fans out there? Don't know if there's anyone left, but it's like playing the AC-130 mission in Modern Warfare 2. This is what playing a mage feels like. The biggest problem that you are going to face is that they have no mobility and no survivability. If an enemy gets right in front of you, it's GG's. Most of the time, mages play in mid lane, which means they will spend half of the game complaining in all chats, and don't worry, this is considered normal behavior in League. Assassins. These guys are considered zoomers with ADHD that can't stand still for a second without their TikTok brain rot. Assassins have a lot of damage and a lot of mobility in many cases. But on the downside, they have less range, which means they have to get real close and personal majority of the times. If you're an assassin, most of the time you will be playing either jungle or mid. And be aware, if you're playing jungle, then be ready to become the punching bag for everyone. And just like before, this is completely normal. Bruisers. These guys excel at both dealing damage and surviving damage. If you are a bruiser, then you are really good in longer team fights, and it's really hard to burst you down, so assassins won't be able to one-shot you, so that's good. But they do have the range disadvantage, which means they will struggle against marksmen and mages. Next, let's talk about tanks. These guys lack one-shot capabilities, but they do have strong CC in their kit. A tank's purpose isn't usually to kill opponents, rather, tanks excel at disrupting enemies and diverting focus to themselves. These are the exact quotes from League Wiki, and I can say that this is completely false. I've seen tanks killing the whole entire enemy team by themselves. Consider this false advertisement. Marksmen. These are your position 1 carries. They rely on their auto attack, really weak in early game, but really strong in late game. Marksmen are all about damage. They are able to one-shot everyone and get one-shotted by everyone, mainly because they don't have enough mobility to evade attacks. Supports, or controllers. These are the real Giga Chads of the game. They do most of the heavy lifting, supporting your teammates, ganking other lanes, helping to take objective, make sure your jungler won't die alone. Their kit most of the time have a lot of utility, CC, or anything to amp up your team. And before you guys say anything, let me clarify something. We will not be talking about the subclasses, mainly because they don't make any sense at all and makes things more confusing. Jace is considered an artillery champion, which is a mage subclass, but if you look into it, you will realize that this guy is not even a mage. He is a fighter and a marksman, so this doesn't make any sense. There is another subclass called specialist, which is a collection of champions that didn't fit into any other category, and then they had the audacity to stroke their own ego by saying something like, "This represents Riot's ideal of having a champion roster with a lot of distinctiveness and diversity." Let me translate that for you. We don't know what to do with them. And hey, if Riot doesn't think that subclasses are important enough to be added into the game, then I guess I don't have to elaborate any further. Alright, now let's talk about Dota 2. I am having a hard time accepting that this is considered a Valve game, because on one side we have very simple yet fun games loved by everyone, and then we have this, Valve's most overcomplicated game of all time. And me explaining Dota Heroes is no exception. There are 3 major ways you can explain Dota Heroes. First is the attribute system. Every hero has a primary attribute which modifies their main attack damage. We have strength, agility, intelligence, and universal. Starting with strength. These guys are tough and hard to kill, mainly because this attribute gives heroes more HP and health regen. And because these heroes are really tanky, they will be the frontliners, initiating teamfights and taking most of the damage. Agility. Most of these heroes rely on their physical attacks, which means their main damage output will be through their auto attacks. So in simple words, these guys are really good in carrying games. So picking one of these heroes as your position 1 is a no-brainer. And the reason for that is because this attribute mainly focuses on attack speed and armor. Intelligence. As the name suggests, these guys are the brains, not bronze. Most of them depend on their skills rather than their auto attack or toughness. In simple words, the whole section is all about mages. They sit in the backline and use their spell to help their teammates and deal damage. Main reason being intelligence give heroes mana regen, and magic resistance. Really annoying to deal with, but really easy to kill. Universal heroes. These heroes don't belong from any of these categories. Rather, you can decide what attributes you want to adapt, because strength heroes only get damage from strength attributes. Agility heroes need agility attribute rather than the other two if they want damage. Same goes for intel, but universal heroes are not bound by that logic. They get 0.7 damage for 1 point of any attribute. Let me give you an example. Let's just say that you are playing as Pangolier. You could go for the agility type hero using your Squashbuckle and Lucky Shot, dealing a lot of damage and reducing enemies' attack speed and armor. Or you can be a complete nuisance by buying items like Scepter, Bling Dagger, Eul's, Gleipnir, Shard, abusing your ultimate and creating opening for your team. These heroes are considered much lenient when it comes to following rules, which results in more creativity. When you're playing the game, you're going to have two types of heroes. First are going to be the carries. These are the bullies of the game, and they will play in position 1, 2, and 3. They get the highest goal priorities so that they can scale better and carry the game. Second are going to be the supports. These are the punching bags for the carries. They don't need a lot of items to scale like carries, so they instead more focus on helping their carries. Trust me bro, this will mean nothing when you start playing the game, because this is Dota and everyone wants to be different, turning supports into carries and carries into supports. This is something that you have to deal with, unfortunately. Every hero has a different strength or trait that are important to know. Starting with the simple one, melee and range. This determines whether your hero deals damage from projectiles or not. I don't think I need to explain much in this, so I'm gonna move on. Disablers. These heroes have at least one disable ability in their kit, whether it's a stun, slow, hex, or root. You get the idea, right? Durable. These heroes can take a lot of hits and survive longer in teamfights. This mainly includes almost all strength heroes and some other heroes from other categories as well. Escape. This basically tells you which heroes either have good mobility or a get out of jail free card. If you get into a sticky situation, then these heroes would have a higher chance of getting out thanks to their kit. Initiators. These guys are really good in starting teamfights, mainly because they have a certain ability which can create a very good setup for your team to start a fight. Nukers. Thanks to low cooldown and high damage, these heroes can quickly kill enemies with ease. Intel group dominates this section thanks to their heavy spell dependence. Last one being pushers. Unlike League of Legends, where turrets are made of paper and anyone can destroy them with 3 auto attacks, Dota towers are really harder to destroy. But some heroes make this process really easy. Maybe it's because they have high damage, or maybe it's because they can create illusions, or just, I don't know, they get a lot of attack speed. These guys make the pushing tower less of a struggle, which is really good for ending the game really fast. And that's it. That's all I have to talk about these games. Be sure to follow me on Twitch so that you can watch me live for some reason. With that being said, now I'm going to go outside and touch some grass.